I hope we are having a great day, or probably if our day is still going. So, I want to share with us today will be our answer, and I believe we are all with our laptop or our system, so that we can work with me as I type and also instruct you. So, please, if you are not with your system, can you just let me know? Okay, that means everybody is with their laptop. So, the first thing we want to let me make a recap on is that first of all, I'm Tobi Taiwo. Like I said, that I've introduced myself the other time. So today we'll be talking about Git, the installation and the setup, their terms explained. Then we are going to try some things. Docker, since you don't have your laptop here, you can just follow up, and then when you have your laptop, you can just try it. I'll make it simple enough for you to be able to work with or on your own. So, like I mentioned the other time, like Git is a versioning tool, which means that it helps you version your content irrespective of the type of files you are working with. It keeps the history, and then it also shows who did what did you do, the changes, the time. It also shows all those things. And then these are the first step you need to even get started when it comes to Git is to install the software, right? So I'm going to paste the link also here to see. So if you're on a Windows, just go ahead and use this link to install it. I'm not sure it's copied very well. Let me try it again. Okay, so that's if you're on Windows. If you're on Mac, I'm going to paste your link again. So if you're on Mac, Apple laptop, one thing you should know is that you can't do this on your phone. You can't do this on your PC, unless if your PC is running Windows. I mean, if your tablet is running Windows, you can only do it on your PC. Sorry, you can't do it on your mobile phone or on your tablet. You can only do it if your phone is running Windows tablet, I believe. So it should be able to work. I'm not too sure. I've not run it on tablet before. But since it's built only for Mac OS and Windows OS, you can or Linux, you can use it on the three. I didn't put Linux link here because I believe majority will be using Windows and Mac. But if you are using Linux, I can also help you get a link. So those are the two links for Windows and Mac. So I will advise to go ahead and run and download it. Are we doing that already? Since this is going to be an answer, I will need your response also. So please let me know. Okay, this is a link for Linus. I'll send it up. Let me see. I will edit this, or probably okay, you've copied it. Okay. Okay, Teams said he's done. We have Talkware, we have Blessing. We have Dorcas, we have Elizabeth. Please let me know when you are done. So the first step is to install that. I don't know how fast our internet is. So let me give about 10 minutes for that. And those are the link once again for each operating system, for Linux, for Windows, for Mac. So select each one of them and download it. Okay, you've already installed it on your PC. That's great. Okay. Next time, I'm going to be putting all these things on Slack so that you can do it ahead of of the meeting. So let me give 5 more minutes of that. If you have already installed it, just go ahead and then let me explain the rest so that you can also go ahead. For you to start running Git, right, you need to set up. You need to set it up, just like saying that after you've installed it, so you also need to set up some things, and this means that you want to set up your name and your email. This is what Git used to identify you, right? Just you saying that, okay, this is who I am. You can, so that anything you are doing is going to tag that thing with your name. So to do this, you have to run this command git config. This is double dash. Global means that globally in Git, I mean, all in a global installation of Git, that is in all your files, in any place you are working with Git, you want to set this name. You can also do this locally in a single folder that you are working with, but for now, we will need to set it globally. So that's where we have this flag -- global. Then user.name, that is you yourself. What your name? So you can give it give it your name. That's any name you want. Don't put John this time around. Just put your own name. So I'm going to copy the link again and send it to the chat here also. So if you're having any issues, please let me know. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. If you're having any issues, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask question. But this is hands-on, so you have the liberty to ask any question you want. So this is to set your email. So you're setting your name and your email. One thing I should also note here at this point is that you can also set some other things, but then I won't advise us talking about this now because it's much more on the advanced level. You can set the default editor for your Git. You can set the color. So, but for now, let's just stick to these two simple things. So when you finish setting this up, you can confirm this. When you run each of these command, it should bring up what you set the other time. Remember, you are setting it differently, like not together. I mean, you're running each command separately, one after the other, not together. So I have set my own. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me see if I can share my whole screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Just hold on for me, please. Okay, so let me share my complete screen. Yusuf, you said you have an account already, but I don't have the app. Can you enlighten me? What do you mean by account? Because it's a setup on your laptop, so it's not like you're logging into an account. So for me, I've already installed it. So if I do Git,
Toby, maybe he's referring to GitHub.
okay. For
Maybe
now,
Git.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. For now, we are only dealing with Git on our local lab system. We will go to reach that aspect of GitHub later on, but for now, we want to stick to our local laptop for now. So for me, I'll just do git.email. You can see that it brings up my email. Let me see if I can increase this. Let me see if I can pick up. Okay, I believe you can see it much better now. So you can see if I run this command, it brings up my email. So if I run this command, user.name to bring out my name, it brings out my name. Note that I use Tobi here. And this is because Tobi is what I've been using in all my social media on my account. So I want to use it like just one single unique name everywhere. You can use only your first name. Some people use alias, so you can use your alias or your name. So anything you want to use, it's up to you. So for me, I prefer using my alias. So you can see that both has been installed. So know that you do this using your command line or your CMD or your shell, anyone you prefer to use. How many of us has done this? Let's put it in the chat if you are here, if you finish your setup. Are we done with our setup? Okay, said it's done. Yusuf, have you installed the app now? I think the first name should be Titilayo. Have you installed the app now? Okay, still on it. Okay. Is anybody having any issue or any running into problems on their laptop? Okay, Ayodele, can you go ahead? Unmute yourself and let me know the issue you're having. Yes, they can be changed. Email and username, you can change it by using the same command. So if I write git config global user.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm having problem setting it up. I have opened the Git CMD.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do from there.
So have you installed it using the link I mentioned the other time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then the next thing is for you to run this command, this git to set up your name and email.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up my name. I entered this. Yeah, that's exactly the exact thing that you highlighted.
Okay, what
But
is
it
the
is
next one?
bringing me. Maybe I
Can you
can
show me
take a screenshot. Let me use my camera so you can see what I'm doing, sir.
if Google Chat will allow you to send the screenshot? You can just let me know the first line.
Okay. C dot user so then I typed in git dot git config hyphen global user dot name, then my name.
Mhm.
It is not bringing anything out.
Yes, it won't give you any result. You can confirm it by using this one, this link. Confirm what if it's working by running this one. This git
Okay.
config user.name.
Okay.
Teams, you can see that I run the command again for my name and let me log it now so that it changes my name.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It brings out my name. Yeah.
Awesome. So yes, it will work to change email too. So let me change email. So as it changed the email too. But let me change it back. change the email also back. For me to confirm if my email and name has been changed, I'll just do this. You can see that it has been changed back. And then if I do this again, I see that everything has been changed back. So, Emmanuel, has it been rectified?
Yes, sir. I'm
Oh,
trying to create my email now.
awesome.
Thank you.
Any other person having any issue or any question? If you can't unmute, you can just send it inside the chat. So, okay, you just install it. So it's not like for Victor. Victor was asking that he just installed the file, but he cannot find it. So it's not like a software whereby you click on and then you start typing like a Windows Microsoft Word. No. So if in as much as you have installed it, finish installing it, don't worry, just go ahead to your command line and try all these commands and confirm your setup and see if it's working. So that's all you need to do. Download and install. So that's all you need to do, Victor. Okay. All right, it's Lion. Network is bad. I figure out I should have sent it ahead, but notwithstanding, we can still go ahead for now. Just go ahead and follow as we are doing this, so that when you are doing it on your own, you can see the steps we take, and then or if you are running into any issues, you can go back, retrace your step back, and implement what we've done also today. So if you are using a Windows, you can just type command line. Either you can run it as administrator or the one without administrator, but preferably use the one without administrator. If you're on Windows. If you're on Linux, I'm guessing you already know the command line. So because Linux, you probably work with command line more often. Okay, yes, Terminal. Sorry, it's Terminal, CMD or Terminal, anyone. I think Windows use Terminal. I don't know if Windows use Terminal. Mac use CMD. You have Terminal, command line, whatever name you call it. There's another one called PowerShell. PowerShell, you can also use that one too. If you're using Linux, it's CMD. I mean, if you're using Mac, it's CMD. Yes. So after it opens, just type this command, the two commands I mentioned earlier to set up your name and email. But replace the John with your name and replace the John at example with your email. I just posted the two commands and run them separately, not together. So going forward, while I'm explaining it, you can continue running the command. So these are the terms that you probably likely come across. There are some other terms that are available when it comes to JIT, but these are the most basic ones. And I'm going to explain them also. Let me see if I can also increase the font size of this. Unfortunately, no single page. Okay. Okay, I think it's much better this way. So, initialize or init. You probably hear init a lot, and what this means is that initializing means you are initiating a folder, you are kickstarting Git in that folder, meaning that you want Git to start monitoring that folder for changes, and then you want to keep a record of that, or keep the versions of everything inside that files with Git. So it's just like kickstarting Git inside that folder. One thing I also want us to understand is that Git works with folders, with your folders. So you can't if you initialize Git in the folder and you delete that folder, it means that all your Git history is also gone. All right. So if you are working with Git in a folder, you also need to keep that folder. For it not to, if you feel you want to delete that same folder, that's where GitHub now comes in, which means you pushing it to the cloud or to GitHub. But we are going to touch base on this as time goes on. Okay, if you are getting the Git is not recognized as an internal or external command, it means you probably didn't install it well. You need to reinstall it. I think sometimes you might need to restart your laptop. I'm not too sure. But that is what it means. It means it's not installed, or you need to restart your laptop. Reinstall it, and if it still gives you the same thing, you might need to restart your laptop. So, like I was saying, what if you want to delete any folder that you're working with, which is Git, you need to push it to a remote server, whether GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket, but not to Google Drive. You don't need to use Google Drive. GitHub is meant for Git. It works well with Git. Now, going forward, that's what initializing just means, that you starting Git afresh inside a folder. You cannot initialize a Git inside the file since it's a file on its own. You only do it inside a folder. So then branch means that branch is another way for you to say, okay, this is a copy of these things that I'm working on. This is another copy. So assuming that I have a book, right? Assuming I have this book, I can decide that, okay, I want to have another copy of this book. I can decide that, okay, I want to have 2 copies of this book. And that means I'm having branch A, branch B. So this means that if I'm creating a new branch, it means that I'm creating a branch, which means that a copy of this book, but they are all still holding the same thing. Unless if I modify this one. So it's just like saying that you have a folder. You want to create different copies of that same folder. That's what the branch means, that you are creating different copies of that same folder. However, note that you can modify a copy and leave a copy as it is. So take, for example, you are working with a file. You don't know what your boss say. Your boss asks you that, work on this file. Use let me say, use pencil, or let's say use a pen, right? When you get it, you see a blue biro and a black biro, but then you don't know which one your boss asks you to use. Or let's say your boss said, okay, create this file and use the colors that is on my table. I've already written some colors on my table. Go there and use those colors. And then you get there, you see 2 colors on his table. You see red and blue. So you don't know which one to use. So you go ahead, create a file, and you first of all use blue. You create a copy of that file, of that same file, and change the color to red. Meaning that you are having 2 copies of that same book, one with blue, one with red. So when your boss came and you first of all, he or she asked you, have you done it? You said yes, but you just want to confirm, which color do you want me to use? If he said blue, just go ahead and give him this. If you said red, just go ahead and give him this. So it means that you're having a copy. It can be modified, it can be the same thing, but that's just what branch means. Just a copy of your work. You can modify it, you can do anything to either one of them without interfering with each other. So when it comes to staging, what stage means is that stage is an area whereby you just keep your file, the file you want to save to your history. That's where you keep it. So when you assuming that you've made changes to this file, right, and then you want to save it to your history, you will first of all add it to the staging area. And after you add it to the staging area, you can just go ahead and then add it to your version. Only the files that you've added to the staging area can be versioned. So if you've not add any files to your staging area, it can't be versioned. So it's not a matter of JIT that JIT is not a scenario whereby JIT will automatically take all your files and immediately version them. No, you have to select the ones you want to add. There is also another command that you can use to select everything at once. If you don't want to select everything at once, you can easily select each one of them, one after the other, one after the other. So that is that. So people are saying that there is network issue. I'm not sure if blessing if you are recording this, but if you have any question after all, you can post it on Slack. I will answer you on Slack also. So coming back to commit, we've talked about initializing, that's init. We've talked about branching. We've talked about stage. We've talked about okay. We now want to talk about commit. Commit, simply put, is an entry in your version history. So you modify a version yesterday, you modify a version 2 days ago. So commit means that an entry in all your list of versions. Remember the other time when I was giving Word documents example. So let me show you again. So I was showing a Word document example, and I was saying that I can restore this version. So this is the example I was showing you the other time. And if you go to this place, you will see that these are our version history. So each of these entry is our commit. That's what JIT looks like. So in JIT, we have different commit history with different commit history. So each commit, when you say commit, is a pointer to a particular version of our work. It's like a pointer. For example, this is a pointer to these changes that I made. This is a pointer to these changes that I made. And then it will also shows you who make those changes. What changes did they make? At what time did they make those changes? It's going to show all this. So that's what commit is about. Then tag. I don't know, many of us know the meaning of tag. When they say tag, meaning that it's just like an identification. So just know that, okay, this thing, I would just want to like tag it. Like they say, just like you're adding a notable point, you're adding a specific point. Most of the time, when people are working with, let me branch a little bit to GitHub now. When people are working with GitHub, when they use tag, they use it for a particular release. Okay, I'm going to explain those ones later on. For now, don't worry about that, because I think the words are already getting to be given when I mention release. So, but when it comes to tag means that you can be working on a book. Let's say you've worked on that book, you've presented it. And your boss asks you to work on a presentation, right? You finish that presentation, you're ready to present. You can easily just add a tag to that particular place and put it presentation 1. You go ahead and present, and then again, they said you should come and present, and they ask you to do some editing or some changes, and ask you to come and present the second time. Then after you make those changes, you've already pushed it to commit. Then you can easily give it another tag, presentation 2. It doesn't mean that your commit history is not there. Your commit history is still there. You can still use this to trace your changes. But one thing to know is that your commit history might be a lot. Right? Commit history might be 5. You can have different 5 or 6 commit history within a day, because you'll be advised to always commit your file. If you are leaving your table or if you are going somewhere, always commit your file, because anything can happen. at that point in time. So one commit in a commit history before you get to present two changes, you might have commit about 5 or 6. You might have 5 or 6 commit history. So you might be looking at, okay, instead of you looking at where is this presentation one, at one point is presentation one, you can easily use tag to note that presentation one and just go back to it straight up without looking at your commit history. So tag is just for noting a particular point in your Git or in Git history in your work. Another thing we want to talk about is revert. Now, revert means that you want to go back to what you've done before. So let's say I've make changes, I've added to the staging area so that Git can add it to my history. I've committed to my history, and I discover that, oh, there is something I'm not supposed to commit it. There is a file I'm not supposed to commit. You can just do revert. It will remove that entry from your commit and then put it back to the previous state. So you can remove the file or do whatever you want to do and commit it back. So we are going to be doing this now. So first of all, I'm going to ask you to, I think I've skipped a step. So let's start the work. So I'm going to go to my document. Let me go to my document. Then let me I'm going to create a folder here. So like for charity. I'm going to enter into that folder. Now, you will need some command line skills for you to work with this, right? You will need some command line skills, or let me say some terminal skills. It means that you're navigating from one. So here, I navigate to my document. So inside my document, I create a folder called Tech for Charity. I will advise you to also create a new folder, like I mentioned here, that you can create a new folder, but you can also use the existing one. But because we are learning these things are fresh, so I will advise you that create a new folder. So I create a new folder called Tech for Charity. So inside this folder, you can run this Git init. Remember the other time, like I mentioned, that to initialize the folder, you use Git init. In fact, before going forward, let me explain something, how they connect with each other. So the first thing is Git init. To do anything you want to do, you must first of all run Git init. After you do Git init creates a default branch for you. So you will always work on a copy of your file. So there will be a default copy. So you can then start working on your file. After you finish working on it, you can decide to add it to your staging area. And after you add it to your staging area, you can decide to commit it. So it's as if it goes from init to branch, from branch to stage, from stage to commit. You can decide to tag it and you can decide to revert. Is there any question at this point before we start typing? Okay. So this is my folder. I'm going to run Git in it. I want you to also do this with me as I'm doing it. So you see, if you run Git in it, you will see that initialized empty Git repository in, so that it's already initialized my folder. And for you to confirm this, you will see a .git folder inside your folder. You will see another file folder called .git. It can be hidden because of the dot that is in front of it. You go inside this folder, it contains various things that Git used to work with your file. It contains hook, info, and all those things. But please, I will say that for now, don't do anything with this folder. This is what Git used to know what you're working on, what points at which point are you. This is what it's used to save all those things. So I will go outside of it. Then I'm clear. So I've already initialized it. Have you also done that? If you're having any issue at any point, do let me know. And if you're going on, if you're going with me, please, I want you to see your chat. It seems your network go off. Well, you can also open the folder, this particular present slide on your laptop and work with me. Okay, let me go back again. Okay, screenshot of the command to run. Okay, let me post it again. The screenshot of the command to run. I'm going to post it in the chat, Victor. So the first two is the one to set it up. The last two is the one to confirm. So I'll just post it, Victor. So let me go back again and create this folder. So I've deleted the folder now. So let me create the folder again. Check for clarity. So let me move inside the folder. Now we are inside the folder check for charity. So I'm going to run git initialize now. And the command to run is git init. And you can see that it says that initialized empty git repository. If I check it, you can see it shows .git. Can you see? So I want us to I want to know how many of us have also initialized the asset that way. Let me know, please. Let me know you are following. Yes, the folder is empty, but you can also do it on an existing folder. But for the sake of what we are doing, since we are learning afresh, let's do it in an empty folder. And then we start adding our files. But you can also do it in an existing folder. So I want to know how many of us have done that. Emmanuel, Tokpe,
No.
have you done that? Okay, Augustine said that's nice. Fatoke, Janet, Jean. Okay, let's move forward. Awesome. So let's move forward. Now I've initialized GitHub. Can decide to add any file, right? Let me open up Microsoft Word and add a file there, or you can add a picture. Let me open Microsoft Word. Going to add a blank document. This is a blank document, right? It is Git. I'm going to save it. Let me save it inside. I'm going to save it inside my documents. Take for charity. So I've saved it. If I go back and check what is inside it, you can see. But let me rename it. I don't like that name. This is Git. Okay, first, let me see, first file. Let me go back. So let me go back into my text authority. Changes, you can see. So I have a file called first file. So for you to know that it is not only a Microsoft document file that you can save there, you can also save images. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in an image. Okay, I'm also going to drag an image, and let me first of all open the file. So this is the file. So I'm going to go ahead and drag an image.
Hello, Toby.
Yes.
We have less than 10 minutes to go. Well, we can
Okay.
take maybe extra 10 minutes because we took 10 minutes to wait.
Okay, awesome, no problem. So I'm going to drag a picture. This is a picture. So you can see, let's see it again. You can see there are two files here, right? Now if you use git status, so I'm going to show you a list of command now that you can use. You can all this git status is to check the status of our work, right? And if I run this status, you can see it said untracked files. It's me, and they say no commit yet. So untracked files means that, let me restart. It said on branch main. It means that this is the branch that I am. Remember, I was talking about branch the other time. It means this is the copy of my file. And it said no commit yet. That means I don't have any history yet. And it said on track files. That means these are the files that I have that have not been added to my staging area. Remember, I mentioned staging area is where you keep all the files that you want to add to your version history. So it said nothing added to commit, but on track files present. Use git add to track. So let me use git add to add anything to your staging area. You use git add. So because I want to add everything and not just a single file, I'll just use git add dot. So if you check git status again, first of all, check our files. Our file is still there. Check git status. I see that the color has changes. So it was red before, changes to green. So all on track files will always be red, while the files that you've added to the staging area will be green. So, but yet I've not committed these files. Remember, I said changes to be committed. And then you can also remove them from the staging area by using this. But then I'm not ready to remove it. I just want to commit it. So I will run my commit command using git commit -m. You must use this. This -m is important, meaning that you want to put a short description of your file. If you don't put it, it will always ask for it, and it will bring up a particular text editor that you won't like. So you must always use -m. So I will say first commit. So you can see that said 3 files changes, 0 insertion, 0 deletion. 0 insertion means that okay, no file. I didn't update any file. I didn't delete. This one means that I didn't delete any file. So you can see. So if I set this status, and you see now that my file is still there. So you've successfully versioned your file at this point. So now let me go to check the log. That's the history of all the git function I've been doing. I will just write git log. You see, it said this is a commit, meaning that okay, this is an history. To also say that this is the branch. Author. Remember that we set up a name the other time. This is the name that we set up, and this is the email. You can see that it shows the date. It also shows the time. It shows the date. It shows the time. It even shows the year and even the time zone. And this is the name of the commit file. So let's make a modification to our file. This is a modification to the original file. If I save it, let's come back to data and write Git status. Status just checking our file. You can see that it writes that modified. It only shows that I've modified this. I didn't modify the picture. So I can commit this again, right? Say update the file with more info. Now, good. You can see something, and when I run this commit, it shows an error. It said changes not staged for commit. So meaning that I have to add this file to stage before I can commit it. So I need to run again, git add that. I'm adding everything. You can decide to add only the file, but because since I've only changed this file, so it is only the file that will be added. So that's why. So let me commit it again using that same comment command. As I said, 2 files changes. So let's use git log again. And see we have 2 entries now. We have this is the current one. This is the current one we have, and this is the old one. So if you look at this thing, this number, you call it commit hash. Commit hash is just like a unique identification number for this particular pointer. So that's what it means. So and I can decide that okay, I want to go back to this commit. I can decide that okay, let me create a new branch. So if I say I want to create a new branch, I will just say git branch colored file. So it will create a new branch for me. So if you want to check all the branches that you have, that's when you write git branches. I think it's git branch, sorry. Yeah. So this is the branch. This is the new branch I just created. This is the current branch. You can see that it's asterisk the current branch. That should show that this is the current branch that I am. If you want to check out, you want to move, check out a new branch from another branch, right? Let me first of all move to this new branch so you can see what I have. Remember that our file will still be our Microsoft Word. Our file is still, this is the modification to original file, right? If I'm going to a new branch, so I'll use check out colorful, color file. I say it says switched to a branch color file. If I go back to see which branch I am now, you can see that the color has changes and then the star aesthetic has changes also. You can ask me any question in the chat though if you are confused at any point. And then if I modify this file, I say, okay, this is a color, let me put it red, and let me save it. I can then add this to the staging area. For the color branch, I just create a new branch and I move to that branch by using checkout. So I've added it to the staging area. I will commit it. Git commit. We have 10 more minutes. Adding color. So if you look at this status, I don't have any other changes left. And if I run git log, let me first of all clear my command line before running git log. Git log, you can see all the commits. We have this is the first commit, this is the second commit, this is the third commit. You can see that this is the branch, it is main. I've been color file, this is main. Can someone ask me, I've been answered this question, why is it that it's showing branches for these ones? I don't know if I want to know if someone can answer me that. It's showing colors, the branches for this one, but it's not showing for this one. Well, let me just say that's the assignment. Find out why it's showing the branch for this one, but it's not showing for the first one that we have here. So let that be an assignment for you. I'm going to ask again in the next class. So if I go back to the first, to the main branch, git checkout, okay, I've switched back to main, right? And if I close the Microsoft Word again and open it, you can see that the color is gone. So let me close this and go back. Let me close it. Let me bring out my Microsoft Word here. So if I open this, okay. So if I close this, so let me switch back to colorful. Yeah. So if I switch back to color file and open it again, you can see the color that's there. You can see that different versions. You can see the different version of your app. This is a copy. Now, I can go back to the first copy, which is this. And to do that, you need to first of all do let me see if this will work. Don't let me use a command that will. I think that's the only command that's there. Let me close this and let's see. Saying, okay, there's a conflict. Wow. Okay. So conflict means that, let's say you are editing a file, you've not saved it, or probably the history, there is one, the history of one of them is ahead of the other. So there will be a conflict at that point in time because one must be the ahead and the other one must be behind. There will be a conflict at that point in time. So now, what do you do if you want to go back? So you can easily do, let's see, easily run git log, and git, then take this particular file. You can see the changes. You can see the changes here. So if you log this, you will see the changes that I made here. These are the changes. This log, it means that it only shows the changes for this commit.
Hello, Tobi, excuse me. We have just 5 more minutes to close. It's already 7:05.
Okay. So you can go ahead and look at this particular file. I also added some other files that shows other some cheat sheets. That's like a lot of command that also explains what each of them or one of them does. So this git stash means that, okay, you want to temporarily save what you are working with, right? That's what it means. You just want to save it temporarily. Let's say you want to quickly go and open the door, and you're thinking that any of your colleague can come to your laptop and be typing anything that you don't want. You can easily use gstash. Just run gstash. It will save it into your memory. So, but because I don't have any local changes, there's no local changes to save. But if you want to, let's say you come back and you discover that there is a change, you want to restore it again, you can use gitpop. And the only way you can know that there is a changes is when you run git status. So if you want to merge two branches together, as you want to match a branch to your current branch, you would use git merge, then the branch name. Then if you want to merge, rename a branch. So already I'm on main, right? Let me check the branch I am. Okay, let's say I want to rename it to color. We just write this branch dash color. If I check the branch again, so you can see that the color have changed, the name has changed to color, from color file to color. So that's how you rename your branch. So thank you. I ask you to go ahead and just try this on your local system. Don't use GitHub for now. Just use it on your local laptop. You try to commit, add as many file as possible to different branches. Create a history of your commits, and let me know the results. Let's talk about it next meeting. And the next meeting, we're also going to be diving into GitHub. That's where we are going to be saving all these changes to the repo. We are going to create an account on GitHub, and we are going to create a private repository. We are going to be adding it to our folder, and then every of your commit, we are going to be saving it to GitHub. So thank you very much. Do anybody have any question at this point? In the absence of none, Blessing, I think over to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Ayodele, please go ahead. Okay, we'll upload this on our YouTube channel. So we'll share the link on Slack once it's uploaded. So thank you very much for joining today's session. So let's keep the same date for next week, Wednesday. And our next class is on Saturday, 2 p.m. West African time. Thank you very much, Toby. We really appreciate you. And for those that took our time to attend to this class, thank you. Hope it was an insightful one. Oh, you're not on Slack. Hold on, let me share the Slack link. And you can also check your email, maybe promotions. You see the invites, the Slack link, the link to join the Slack channel is also there. But let me share it right away. Aside that, we are done for today. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. I didn't
Thank
please
you
hold on
so
to
much.
share the Slack.
Thank you so much for the lesson.
If you have any questions, just drop it on Slack. I will answer every of your questions there.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have you seen it?
Hello, everyone.